Hey guys, Lukewarm Mining here. It's obviously a little bit loud right now, especially with this thing running. But today I am finally going to tackle what is going on this BC250. Finally have the energy and the time to do a full teardown on this thing to figure out what's going on. So, as you guys have probably seen, I think I posted a couple pictures of it. Basically this card, or where this replacement card is sitting, it had burned out on the first day of owning this thing. It actually burned out the socket on the card itself, and it's actually taken out the socket. So if I go ahead and unplug this one right here, I can go ahead and turn these guys on. You can see this guy does not boot whatsoever. It's completely lost power to that one right there. But as soon as I unplug this one, turn off the rig, get a little bit of peace and quiet here, and we plug this guy in, to watch, this guy will boot. But as soon as both power supplies are running, that card turns off and doesn't come back. So today I'm gonna actually take apart this thing, try to figure out what is exactly going on in it, then also start the process of replacing out the front fans on this thing with some 120mm fans that I stole from the Octa miner. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put those up for you guys to try out and put on your BC250s. So as you can see, this thing's a little bit of a monster to get apart. It is a networking nightmare for sure. There's some of you guys bought like 30 of these things. I couldn't possibly do all the wiring from them. I ended up making custom cables for this, and I had to do it a couple times over because they weren't the right lengths. It's just a nightmare. I had the second one that they sent me as a replacement for this. So PCASP was pretty chill about that. But honestly, I sent that one out to go get hosted. So let's get this thing apart. Alrighty, so I went ahead and took down the BC250. I went ahead and removed the lid off of this. So now just a matter of getting everything removed off of this and getting all the cards out to check out the carrier board. And then also checking out all the cards, making sure there's nothing weird showing up on any of them in the meantime. So when we get down to this last card over here, it actually does have another cable plugged into it. Actually down here, from what I understand, it controls all the cards based off of this one card. So gotta make sure you unplug it down below first. Get that cable out with the rest of the PCB. Alrighty, so once we got everything open here, you can see there's a little bit of the burn left over from when the card caught on fire in here. There's a little bit of soot still left over. Doesn't seem to be too much damage, at least on this side with the PCI connectors here, so not exactly sure what's going on. I'm going to actually check these caps and see if there's anything that's connected to this causing it. I'm also going to trace these to see where they go, because it's odd that it turns on with one PSU and not the other. I don't see any immediate pins that are burned here on it, so thinking that it is something on the daughter board that's here. I guess it's fairly simple. As you can see, the way that these fans are hooked up in here, this is connected to these guys right here. What I've noticed is if you unplug one, it doesn't stop the machine from working or anything like that. So, I mean, doing the modification and changing out these 120s does not really affect the machine at all. So we go ahead and do that. Anyways, just a little bit more visual inspection. Don't see anything weird. I do find it interesting though that all the surface mount components besides the cap is on here for additional power supplies, but it's not soldered. The cap's not soldered and the connector's not soldered. So these things don't actually run in redundancy. As you saw when you put this up, it's split on the power. So one side goes to 1.6, the other side goes to the other 6. So there's no redundancy or backup. I don't know if there's any point to running any kind of redundancy on these things, but it'd be interesting to see if these are still actually active. Because if they are, then it's technically possible to set these up to be redundant. But in all honesty, for the price point that these are at, these are mostly just for, like, you know, throwaways. So honestly, doing a visual inspection on the board, I didn't find anything super standing out or anything like that. No burn capacitors, no burn resistors, no holes to the boards anywhere, no blackening, no separation of the PCB or anything like that. So this is a multi-layered board, so more than likely there's a failure somewhere in the middle, something that I cannot get access to or repair. So what I went ahead and did is tested every single one of the leads with the card plugged in, also checking with the multimeter to see what the voltages were. And I ended up finding out that there was a specific pin on these that is like a sense pin that runs at 3.3 volts. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the board itself in running, since it just takes in 12 volt input. So what I ended up doing was bridging the connection to see if that would fix it. It did not, so what I ended up doing in the end was removing it altogether. So of course I forgot to record it, but what I went ahead and did is remove this connector off of there to see if it would boot, at least off the one pin. And same with these ones. I removed one of them to test and it seemed to work fine. And when I removed the pin off of this, because this seems to be just some kind of signal wire, and still have the 12 volt and ground power delivery on these, seems to work just fine. So what I went ahead and did is yanked the pin out of there after desoldering it, resoldered it on there, and it seems to be working. So I'm just gonna double check real quick. Alrighty, so I got 3 cards in right now set up in here just because I don't have enough power going to this circuit to really warrant anything higher than that, and I only need this to test. Anyway, so what we're gonna go ahead and do is turn on the daughter board right here, make sure it all works. And as you can see, we had all the cards boot, no weird flashing lights or anything like that. So looks like I have revived this board. It looks like I can run all 12 cards again. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions or you're having any weird issues with your BC250s, feel free to reach out to me, leave a comment down below, or hit me up on Discord.